Hey everybody, Super Cameraman is here. In this video, I will tell you what will be in the third part of the 77th episode, as well as show you all the details that you did not notice in the second part, because the second part exceeded all my expectations. The thing is, I thought that the second part will turn out to be as uninteresting as the first, but it is not so. In the second part, there were a lot of interesting details and secrets, and so in this video, I put everything together and decided to tell you everything. What if I told you that Plunger Woman didn't say anything at this point, and the secret agent is one of the culprits behind the Skibidi virus? That's not all. In this video, you'll learn why there was a question mark drawn near the secret agent, and how the year of the photo and the year of the creation of Camera Woman are related. Who is really a cameraman named Fred? This and much more in this video, so I recommend watching the video from start to finish so you don't miss any interesting moments. And please don't forget to give me a like, because it's a strong motivation for me to create new videos for you. Well, let's go. The second part of episode 77 is a direct continuation of the first part. It always has been, and this episode is no exception. The second part starts from the moment when all the key characters were in the same place. The action is recorded in the same way on behalf of the big cameraman. After the agent's barking, the first part ends and the second part begins. But it should be clarified that this time we know how the second part will start, because this time Daffuk Boom first showed us a leak video, not a frame. On this 10 seconds video, we had a chance to see what will be in the second part, and as we can see, Daffuk Boom did not change anything and left everything that was on the leak video. And just at this point, we can say we already see the continuation of the first part of episode 77. Here you can see a hybrid toilet policeman fighting 4 Astro toilets alone, but unfortunately, his improved weapon doesn't help him. If you zoom in on the shot, you can see the cop losing some of his gear on his back. Seeing all this, the big cameraman comes to his rescue and protects him from the Astro toilet with a powerful shot from his weapon. But since there were many toilets, one of them keeps attacking the hybrid toilet. But this Astro toilet was also eliminated by the big cameraman, not as fast as the first one, but still it was destroyed too. Next, 3 more Astro toilets come to the rescue. And for the first time, we notice such a professional trick from the hybrid toilet. He uses the sickle as a boomerang and destroys all the Astros in one blow. This is the first time we've seen such a spectacular move from this hybrid toilet. Most likely it was improvised, because his satisfied smile shows it. By the way, about him and the G unit, I'll tell you something at the end of the video. Now let's take a closer look at the uniform, or more specifically, the chevron of this John. On the shoulders it says police, as well as an identifying badge. This detail will come in handy for us in a few seconds. Then the Skibidi Toilet leaves this place, and by the way, look at this detail. He is missing 2 rockets on his back, as he dropped them at the beginning because of the Astro toilet's attack. Next, during takeoff, the hybrid toilet drops some kind of picture from his pocket. The cameraman notices this and approaches to get a close-up look at this photo. And as the cameraman gets closer, we notice a small squad of 6 police officers. And that's where one of the most interesting parts of the second part of episode 77 comes into play. Let's take a closer look at this image. I think everyone has already guessed that in the center poses the hybrid toilet itself, of course, before it was a toilet. The photo was captured a long time ago, namely in 1986. Please remember that number too, as we'll come back to it at the end. The shooting location was the parking lot of the Alpha Hills base. It's a base we've all known for a long time. And finally, this photo was taken by the Special Government Protection Unit. As we can see, this unit was supposed to be guarding this facility. In general, it seems to me that they were not allowed to take this photo because they were in the area of a restricted facility. But the photo was taken on purpose, that is not hidden, as all the guards are posing for the photographer. We have no information about the photographer, but if it were not for this photo, then perhaps no one from Skibidi Toilets would have known about this base, and therefore they would not have been infected. But that's not the most interesting thing about this image. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first let's talk about the time of the picture. It's 1986, 7 years after this photo of the secret agent. So Daffuk has been doing his admin duties for 7 years, because he was also at the time of the photo shoot. As we can see, here he is talking to one of the police officers, and next to him is a scientist from the Alpha Hills lab. And it seems to me that this scientist is this one, because he is the only one without glasses and similar hairstyle. And notice the secret agent is looking at the photographer, and it feels like he didn't want him in the shot. But that's not the most interesting thing. The thing is that this image belongs to a hybrid toilet, and the weirdest thing is that he drew an arrow near a secret agent and signed it with a question mark. So what could this this possibly mean? For me, I've highlighted two possibilities so far, but in time, I think we'll know the right one. Either he sees him here for the first time, which is not very logical, since the secret agent worked in Alpha Hills with them for 7 years. Or this policeman already had some doubts about the secret agent, and so he decided to single him out in order to find out more information about him. It makes sense. He's a cop, and apparently the chief of surveillance. If that's the case, he's the most responsible for this facility. Doubting someone should be the norm for him, and I think the hybrids got the secret agent tag for a reason. I even have an idea that the secret agent has something to do with the creation of Skibidi virus. If you are interested in this topic, let's get 300 likes and I will try to make a video about it. I think that in the future we will find out more information about this moment, but now let's move on. In the next scene, we see an Astro destroyer that is alone for some reason. Usually they come with a squad. And opposing the Astro will be an improved DJ Toilet. He counter-strikes the Astro Toilet with his lasers, which resemble G-Man's lasers. Astro Toilet receives insignificant damage, as the technology Skibidi Toilets are weaker than Astro, so the destroyer and did not feel anything. And when the Astro fired another shot, this time, the DJ Toilet intercepted these shots with its speakers. With the strong sound of Skibidi, the toilet was able to contain all of Astro's projectiles, and in doing so, he was able to direct all of the projectiles back towards Astro Toilet. Astro, and before the battle with DJ was badly wounded, and after the damage from his shells was already in critical condition, but still he is killed by the camera spider, but behind the scenes, as such shots belong to him, and the shell is too big. Next, we notice another Astro Toilet, but already with some defenses. With him, we'll deal with the legendary big cameraman in red, whose name is Fred. Why Fred, you ask? The thing is that after the release of the second part of the 77th episode, Dafuk Boom published 4 frames, where he wrote the official names of all agents. Yes, this cameraman has a glowing lens, but it's not the cameraman from episode 76 because he has a red shirt. Who is he? Is he a new character? No. We first saw him in episode 31, when Skibidi Toilets dominated because they were able to create parasites, and after his first appearance, the big cameraman was immediately infected with the parasite. But 3 episodes later, in episode 34, he was able to be cured and he was back in action because the parasite had been eliminated from him. But of course, this is not the whole story of the big cameraman. This agent is one of the first warriors. He has been doing battle with the toilets for a very long time, as he even appeared in the memories of Cameraman in episode 73, that is in episode 14. Further, as we can see, after the infection, the cameramen put him in quarantine, where they most likely experimented on him and came up with different improvements for him, because in an additional scene in episode 70, he was present and even showed the likes, which hints you to put likes on the video too. After episode 70, we noticed him in another extra scene, namely in episode 76. There, he threw some object on the Titan's TV man and further showed an obscene gesture to the TV man. And he did this because the TV man had lost their conscience, and instead of teleporting wounded agents to safety, they were teleporting Astro Toilet technology. But at the end, the TV man promised that they would regret it, which threatened Fred's life because he threw an object at him and further humiliated the TV man. As we can see, Fred has been improving all this time. And not alone. He improved together with the camera woman, because you could see the camera woman in this scene, and this is what he looks like at the moment. Let's take a closer look at all of his improvements. His weapons are a huge double-barreled shotgun, as well as a sword saw. On his back, he has 2 turbines, which allows him to fly. He also has 2 additional cameras on his shoulders. Plus, he now has a new arm that can pull enemies to him to kill them. And on his right arm, he can activate a shield. And now you can see what he can do. As we can see, his shield can withstand all the Astro shots, and he was even able to attack with that shield. Next, he uses his sword saw and simply destroys the Astro Toilets with 3 swings. After that, he is spotted by 4 more small Astro Toilets. But then I noticed a gaffe. The thing is that this toilet was white, but when it comes a little closer, it becomes black because he appears to have lower armor. This is where you can see how Fred's left-hand technology works. As I said earlier, he draws opponents to him and kills them like Cameraman Titan did in episode 51. Some even think Fred is a small version of Cameraman Titan. Next, Cameraman uses his shotgun and tries to destroy the Astros, but he's not very good at it, and so an army of improved cameramen comes to his aid, and as Dafuk wrote, Cameraman 3.0. That's why now all the cameramen are glowing blue. They're just all improved to resist the Astro Toilets. And behind the army of agents, distance, you could spot the DJ toilet, Michael Skibidi Jackson, and the hybrid toilet. They are still here and helping the agents. Next, another armored Astro toilet arrives, but it is not Fred who fights it, but Plungers. With the help of Plungers, manage to remove the helmet of the Astro toilet. Yes, these are improved Plungers. And since now this weapon is used by Camerawoman, they are here, but in an improved form. Meet Plunger Woman. Yes, that's right, because the Dafuk himself wrote her new name on the posters. By the way, we knew in advance that she will be improved and will look like this, because Dafuk recently secretly gave out models in Roblox game to one YouTuber, and we spomotrudnosti these models found out how she will look like. There were a few more models. At this point, you can take a closer look at all her improvements. As we can see, she has a protection on her head, as well as she received 4 guns on her back, and clothes completely changed before she looked like a normal cameraman. And here begins the most interesting thing. The thing is that when Plunger Woman reaches out a helping hand. After that, the operator gets interference and sees Plunger Woman in the image of Kathy. The thing is that the Camera Woman, i.e. Plunger Woman, was created in Kathy's image, as she personally participated in its creation. And the first inclusion of the Camera Woman was in 1985. And by the way, that picture was taken a year later. So the secret agent was also present at that moment, but behind the scenes, and no one knows what he was doing there. Yes, we know that he was the new administrator in Alpha Hills, but that's what all his colleagues thought. But what he was really doing, no one knows. If you want to see a separate video about it, then let's get a lot of likes. And this video will be on the channel, unless of course the secret agent will not notice this video and delete it. After Plunger Woman says one phrase to the operator, but it's likely that phrase is for the entire alliance. She says, "Together until the end," which shows how strong and dedicated an agent she is. But Plunger Woman didn't actually say anything like that. I think it was some kind of flashback. What if Kathy and the other people who were developing the Cameramen were fighting against the Skibidi Toilets together? And just like that, this moment was from a battlefield in, like, 1989. And logically, the big cameraman, which is where the action is coming from, was fighting with Kate, and he just remembered this moment. Here is another proof. In the cameraman's memories, Kate has a small wound, which indicates that she fought with someone. And by the way, cameramen can't talk, except Cameraman Titan. There is even a theory that he supposedly was able to talk after he got the technology of Astro toilets. This, by the way, can be verified once he swaps his arm for another weapon. And so, the theories that the agents are human and that she's removed the defenses immediately fall away. And after Plunger Woman helps the big cameraman up, the second part of episode 77 ends. Agree. The second part of episode 77 turned out to be very interesting if you compare it with the first part. Further will be even more interesting because the 77th episode is included in the list of Dafuk Boom with epic episodes. If you haven't watched my video where Dafuk answers your questions, then I will tell you that in the third part, we will see Titans, because Dafuk said about it. Well, if you have watched the video up to this point, I suggest you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to not miss new videos. And at the end, you can see other analysis. Here was a super cameraman. See you in the next video. Bye.